Hello, it's Concord Wind. You may notice the angle is a little bit different on this video because I'm using the actual phone case or like the phone holster clip that came with this phone instead of the one that was from my previous phone, which is what I've been using on past videos, and this one fit better. The angle isn't as good as on the other ones, but it's a price I'm willing to pay, I guess. I mean, it's not that bad. You still see me, and you don't even have to look at me if you don't want to. You can just listen to this. But well, you know that I don't have to tell you. It's really late. What time is it? It is 2:33 in the morning. So I need to be kind of quiet, actually. Hopefully I'm not like disturbing my neighbors upstairs, or hopefully they're already asleep or use white noise or something. But I gotta make this video because well, I guess I don't have to, but I really want to. And I prayed before I made this video because I was like, God, please help me, like, to find a passage of your words to read and to, like, something that'll resonate with people or educate people or whatever. And like, I was flipping through the pages of God's words. I was flipping through the pages, and I wasn't able to find anything that was like new or fresh and then I remembered that there was a new chapter uploaded today, and it was really good. And when I first, like, right before I was started recording this video, I was like, I'm probably just going to talk about my understanding of the new chapter that I read. I'm probably not going to, like, read it, But I kind of changed my mind as I was recording. I'm sorry I'm taking so many pauses. I'm really sorry. But I changed my mind and was like, I guess I will read, because the reading of God's words provides context for the understanding that I'm going to share. And I was going back and watching some of my old videos, and I realized, like, even on caffeine, I take really long pauses, and I'm really sorry about that. You can speed up the video if you want, because I know I do take really long pauses, and, I don't do that intentionally. I don't even realize I'm doing it. I just, like, need time to think and process, because, like, my brain isn't what it used to be, because I'm on medication for my mental illness, and one of the side effects of the medication I'm on is it causes the brain to shrink. And that's a price I'm willing to pay to be like a functional member of society. It's worth it to me, but there is, like, I mean, obviously it's a drawback. Obviously it's, like, it's not ideal, and it affects my performance, but not being on the medicine affects my performance in a significantly worse way. So be thankful you just have long pauses to deal with and not psychosis. Because that would be really bad. You guys wouldn't even understand me. Like, I wouldn't have as many viewers and subscribers and stuff as I have if I was in psychosis, because when I'm in psychosis, like I can't function. I can't speak normally. I'm just like, it's really bad. All right. So now this passage I'm about to read is connected to a previous chapter. It's a continuation of a chapter. So what I'm about to read, it sounds like you're missing information, but God is really good at explaining things in a way where you don't necessarily need to have read the previous chapter to understand what's going on in the current chapter. You can, like, it's explained very well. God explains things very well. So, 1 second. All right, I'm back. So let's go ahead and read. Looking at it on the surface level, the topics of what is created by God, ordained by God, or under God's sovereignty cover a very broad scope and are highly abstract, but in fact they are closely linked to the various people, events, and things that people come into contact with in real life. It also could be said they're intimately connected. They are not detached from reality. This relates to an issue. When you face many unexpected people, events, and things in your life, you can't determine whether they are positive things or negative things. Even if you understand the doctrine for discerning positive and negative things, you still can't determine it. Even if they are types of things that are encompassed by positive things, you do not acknowledge them as positive things within your notions, and you are repelled by them and detest them in your heart, and even think they are utterly unworthy of being listed within the scope of positive things. And yet they are indeed created by God, ordained by God, or under God's sovereignty, and they belong to the category of positive things. This is when the principles of practice for how people should face these types of things come into play. The simplest principle of practice is this. First, you must be sure that the thing in question is a type of thing covered by the definition of positive things. Although going by people's notions, it doesn't seem like a positive thing. If it is something within the category of positive things defined by God, then first of all, you must be sure that it is a positive thing and that there's absolutely no mistake about it. So what are positive things? I'm trying to find. I'll have to go to the previous chapter, actually. Oh my goodness. All right, I can't. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is so embarrassing. I can't find it. And like I don't want to sit here and look through my phone while I'm. I guess I could pause the video. Yeah, let me do that. All right, I'm back. I found it. Everything that comes from God is a positive thing. All things created by God, ordained by God, or under God's sovereignty are positive things. So that's the definition of positive things according to God. And of course, everything God says is the truth. So that is the definition that the universe recognizes, although humanity may not recognize it. That is the definition that will be recognized by the humanity of the future. So I was going to keep reading but for some reason I just feel like I want to talk. I don't know why. I think I've got like anxiety from this caffeine because I had a double shot. I've had, let's see, I've had 640 milligrams of caffeine in the past, like since since yesterday morning, which was like earlier today because it's like 2 in the morning or whatever, and it's like I think I've had too much caffeine and I'm really struggling, but I just want to talk. God uses an example in this chapter. In the first chapter we read, I went back to the previous chapter to find the definition, but of positive things. But God uses an example of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are created by God. Mosquitoes are positive things. 1 second while I go blow my nose. Yeah, so mosquitoes are positive things, but people don't think mosquitoes are positive things because they bother people. They inflict harm upon people. You know, they bite, and then the bite turns red and it gets very itchy. You know, people think that's not a positive thing because of the harm it inflicts upon people and the fact that they're annoying. And, you know, when like God uses the example of like when someone first sees a mosquito, they might shoo it away and say, oh, it's a mosquito, it's created by God, it's a positive thing. But then when it comes back and bites them, they're like, okay, that's it. This is inflicting harm upon me. It is not a positive thing, and they swat it and kill it. And God says swatting the mosquito and killing it is actually appropriate and within the scope of the responsibility that man has to manage over the creatures of the earth, the responsibility that God gave man. It's appropriate to swat it, you know, to, you know, it's a part of the management that man has been given, like the man's management over the earth. You know, it's an appropriate course of action to swat it and kill it. So yeah, I was like, when I read that, I was like, well, that makes sense. It does, you know, and obviously that doesn't mean humans need to go around just killing things. But where the person made the mistake is they said the mosquito is not a positive thing just because they had to kill it. Just because you have to kill the mosquito doesn't mean it's not a positive thing. It just means the way you manage the mosquito, the way you rule over it, is that when it's bothering you, you kill it. But like, you know, because like, I mean, when God manages man, you know, sometimes God arranges for a person to die, and that's part of his management of man. And sometimes when people are managing the earth, they have to kill certain animals, and that's part of man's management of the earth. You know, I mean, you shouldn't like just like indiscriminately, you know, arbitrarily, just like kill animals. I mean, obviously, I mean, if you're going to kill something, it has to be for a reason. It has to be because it's inflicting harm upon you, or it's about to inflict harm upon you, or you kill it for meat, or you kill it if it has like rabies and it's past the stage of, you know, treatment. It can't be treated. It can't be cured. You know, there's specific reasons, you know, to end the suffering of an animal, right? There's specific reasons why people have to kill certain things. You know, it's just it's part of man's management of the earth, and but mosquitoes are still positive things because mosquitoes provide food in the food chain for other animals like dragonflies and birds and frogs and stuff. Like they provide food for those animals, and mosquitoes can also be used to spread certain diseases, which that doesn't sound positive, but hear me out. If somebody who's like on the fence, who's kind of agnostic, kind of on the fence about believing in God, contracts a disease from a mosquito, and they start to believe in God as a result of the illness they get from the mosquito, and then they're cured of the illness or whatever, and they believe in God, and they begin practicing the truth, and they gain salvation, and that's part of God's management of that mosquito to bring salvation to a person. And let's say somebody doesn't believe in God, and not only that, but they're a wicked person, and God tries to get them to become a good person or even to believe in God, and no matter what they face, they're very stubborn, and a mosquito bites them and they get an illness, and they cause great harm to mankind, this person, right? They're very wicked, and they have a lot of power maybe or something, and it gets to a point where it's starting to get ridiculous, and they die from this illness from this mosquito, and that's part of God's management of man, part of his arrangements, and that's a positive thing. And God lets evil reign on the earth in for a time, like the Roman Empire, ruled over the earth for a time, and eventually their time was up, and they fell. And God has raised up countries that practice righteousness on the earth, and then of course there's the Chinese Communist Party, which is very evil, and the Chinese Communist Party will reign for a while, but their time is coming to an end, just like the Roman Empire. Governments, countries, empires that oppose God can only last for so long, and God does permit them to exist, and he permits them to oppose him, and he permits them to express all manner of evil, and this has a harmful impact on mankind. But for those who are wise, it has a positive influence, because those who are wise will discern it, and it will give them a taste of what Satan is like, and it'll make them hate Satan and cling to God and fully turn to God and see how beautiful God is in contrast. They'll see the contrast between, for example, the Roman Empire and God. They'll see that stark contrast of the Roman Empire was so evil, but God is so beautiful. And they'll see that contrast, God would never treat somebody the way the Roman Empire treats people, and the more you're abused by those who are opposed to God, the more you love God. And so evil has a positive influence on people who are wise, but people who give up and surrender to evil, that's on them. It's not that the evil wasn't doing its job, acting as a foil. It's that the people were not perceptive to the purpose behind that evil, So, yeah, mosquitoes are positive things. That might be the name of the video, actually. I'm sorry. Let me pause the video and think about what the title should be. Alright, I thought about it and I prayed. And I haven't received any special enlightenment on what the title of the video should be so far anyways. So I'm thinking mosquitoes are positive things will be the title of the video. And I'm going to look like an idiot if I end up using a different title. But I think that's going to be the title of the video. So hopefully people will watch it. I know one of my videos on my channel has no views, and that's really disappointing. But another one of my videos, which is like a big success, this one, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this one, God determines that I can't read. It's backwards. I can't read it. Well, anyways, I tried to focus in on it, but I couldn't get a focus on it for some reason. God determines the outcome of each person based on whether they are possessed of the truth or not. It's got 70 views and 7 likes and 4 comments. So that's pretty cool. But God's standard for evaluating, let's see if you can see that. God's standard for evaluating a person's, whatever that says, that has 0 views. So if you're watching this, please watch that video and share it with your friends and family, because right now it has 0 views, and it's a good video if you can get past my long pauses. I do, the long pauses are not very entertaining, and it's kind of boring sometimes watching my videos when I make those long pauses. I wish I could just talk continuously. So I'm really sorry about those long pauses, but I'll try to do better. I'll try to be more conscientious of that. So yeah, that's it. I'm trying not to make many pauses. It takes time for me to think sometimes. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and goodbye.